Have you ever been told to relax in Aikido? I know, I've heard that too. But you know what? During my nearly 10 years living and training in Japan, I didn't hear the word relax. If you were to say relax in Japanese, it would be nonbiri suru. What I heard was chikara o nuide, or sometimes I heard nobi nobi shite. So chikara o nuide, it doesn't mean relax. It means literally remove the strength or shed the strength. So that's something very, very different. Nobi nobi shite means do stretchy, be stretchy, right? Um, so the closest English phrase that I've come up with is loosen up. So it means what my teachers were saying to me when they said nuide kudasai, chikara o nuide kudasai, or nobi nobi shite kudasai, is to keep my strength, but use it efficiently. So use it efficiently towards your goal, whether that's hitting a home run, knocking out a boxing opponent, executing shihonage on a partner who's bigger and stronger than us. Whatever the situation we're in, any athlete wants to or will get better results if they loosen up. So today, let's talk about what that really means, how to loosen up in Aikido, and how we can cultivate that quality of looseness, nobi nobi, or chikara o nuide, whether we're 20 years old or 70 years old. When I was training in Japan, my teachers didn't say relax. They said things like take out the strength, which loosely translates to loosen up. That phrase, chikara o nuide, it means to let go of the unnecessary tension, to use the strength properly. So it's not about being weak, it's about allowing your power and your strength to travel freely through the body instead of getting stuck somewhere along the line in some tension, some tightness. So when you're stiff, you block this flow, the flow of the strength through the body. When you loosen up, whatever sport you're doing, movement becomes continuous, effortless, and alive. And that really is something that, as I said, all athletes strive for. I don't think there's any coach at all who would say to their to to an athlete, tighten up now. Right? They all want them to loosen up. So I actually believe that the best way to get this looseness is it's not really just through theory, certainly not through theory, not through drills. The best way is to be thrown over and over and over and over until you can barely stand. When you've got no strength left, you can't stay stiff. Your body gives up fighting and starts to move more naturally. Of course, you have to have a good coach or teacher or sensei uh, to to catch you and encourage you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now drop the shoulders even more and things like that if they catch you like this. Um, but if you go through this and give yourself to your teacher in this way, your body gives up fighting, and then it starts to move more naturally. The tatami kind of needs your body also, but that's a topic for another video. We could go really in depth on that one. Anyway, this really just works in specific conditions, doesn't it? So some of you might be sitting there going, wait a minute, I'm 65 years old. I started Aikido 2 years ago. What is she talking about? I can't do that. I'll need 2 weeks to recover. So yes, we need certain very specific conditions for that. And a specific type of teacher, a very, very high level teacher. Otherwise, the teacher is just passing on their stiffness to you. So this was my experience, though, in Japan with Takeda Shihan and his senior students. After class, they would just throw us and throw us and throw us and throw us Maybe they were working on something to help us, or maybe they were just working on their own technique. So it's for me then getting thrown over and over. And by the way, I was in my late 20s at that time. I was in Japan from the age of 26 to 36. Anyway, the learning experience from my side of it was that the learning took place at a cellular level, if that makes sense, a very, very deep level. But as I alluded to before, hey, sorry to interrupt the video, but some of you have been asking how you can get a copy of my book, The Teacher. The book includes topics such as from horse riding to Budo, the Japan experience, back home, building intuition, attracting new students to Aikido, nonviolence in Aikido, leading by example, women in Aikido, arrogance, no to homogenization in Aikido, Aikido and distance teaching, body alignment, more. If you haven't yet purchased it and you'd like to, just head to lia-suzuki.com/book, or you can find that link in the description here on YouTube. The book is available in English and Italian. If you want it in Italian, you've got to go to Amazon. There's plenty of really cool photos. There's me when I first started Aikido, even before I got to Boston, which is where my first teacher is. Also, Takeda Shihan, Bill Gleason Sensei, my first teacher. And for those of you who might know him, Gary Small Sensei, taking ukemi long ago. Another of Takeda Shihan, Yamaguchi Sensei. All right. We've got a couple of me teaching seminars, of course. And then even one with me with explaining something with Shoto. This is in the No to Homogenization section. As I said, the link is in the description below. Just click on that, go to lia-suzuki.com/book and order yours. Let's get back to the video. That intensity isn't for everyone. So depending on your age, your health, your experience, it might not be possible, and it might not be wise, actually. So there are some other things that you can do to get somewhat the same benefit, same benefit to somewhat the same degree. So if you're not 25 years old and training full time in Japan, what do you do? So there are some other ways, some safe, practical, and surprisingly effective ways. So, oops, there goes my cat. um, so let's look at 3 methods to loosen up your Aikido without being thrown for 2 hours straight. So, first of all, you want to always keep your posture and your alignment, but let your joints soften. Think about your joints being liquid or emptying the joints out if there could be air in your joints. And again, I hear you. I can imagine some people in their 50s and 60s going, air in my joints? Oh my gosh, she's got no idea. They're all arthritic. Maybe so. But imagine it. Just imagine it. And then move towards embodying that image that you have. So try this. Have your partner grab you really, really strongly. First, tighten everything up so you can do a compare and contrast. Tighten everything, your knees, your toes, your fingers, your shoulders, your lower back, your upper back, everything. Um, and just feel how things kind of come to a screeching halt, right? So then release. Release everything. Release the shoulders, release the ankles, release the knees. Think about releasing everything. And once you feel that you've loosened up everything, then loosen more, because you can always go more. There's always something that you missed. So loosen up and loosen up and loosen up. And then after you've loosened up and loosened up and loosened up, then try to see if the energy feels to be moving, and watch your partner. See if your partner reacts. Okay? Compare their reaction now to their reaction when you stiffened everything up. Don't lose your form. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't mean relax, right? We're not talking about relax like sipping a Mai Tai on the beach, right? We're talking about just dropping the tension. Strength is not a bad thing, right? So check and stop fighting your own body and check your partner to see if there's a change reflected through them about what you're doing. Another thing you can do, number 2, breathe before you move. Breath releases tension faster than any stretch or correction. So before you move, exhale. Then, as you breathe out, let the shoulders drop, empty them out, and you'll be able to feel your partner's center more readily. There's a better chance that their center will become available, so to speak, and your timing will improve. Your movement will get more smooth. So this is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to train Chikara or nuide. Okay, nugu or nuide is a verb, so you're shedding your power. The third one, the third method that you can try, and I recommend that you try all 3 of these. So feel the connection. Don't try to force the direction. So when you try to make your partner move, when you try to do Aikido on your partner, you'll always tense up. So your mentality of I'm going to do something to them or I'm going to make them move a certain way, that's going to make you tense up. Instead, focus on feeling where they're already headed and guide that energy further or redirect it in a different way. But don't block it and push it back the same way that it was coming from. Okay? You can deflect it like bouncing a rubber ball into a wall. It deflects, it ricochets. So try that. And this, if you can manage that, this is when you have a chance, it's possible that Aikido, your Aikido will become effortless, or you'll go at least more and more in that direction. And that way, connection replaces tension. Okay, so feel the connection, don't force the direction. Next, I want to go over a few common mistakes. So, 4 quick pitfalls that I see all the time. Collapsing the posture while you're trying to loosen up. Again, loosen up doesn't mean to just collapse and slouch or anything like that. It just means to sort of empty the joints. And again, imagine that your joints were completely liquid or that you had no joints. This is kind of a crazy thing to say. I had a student come to me and say, wow, so and so really helped me. Chris really helped me with my ukemi for irimi nage. And I said, oh, wow, great. What did he say? I'm thinking, boy, I've been trying to help this person on their irimi nage. She goes, he told me to make my legs like squid legs. I was like, but you know what? I was wondering why the heck that person's ukemi for irimi nage had gotten better. I was like, wow, this is much better than before. And then they told me, oh yeah, he told me to move my legs like squid legs. Who knew? So anyway, um, don't collapse the posture. Just really, really loosen your joints. Um, and also, another pitfall that I see is forgetting to engage the center. It's kind of the same thing. If you collapse your posture, then usually your center is going to disengage at least to a small degree, usually to a greater degree. And holding the breath, especially just before the contact and then during the initial part of the contact. And then the fourth one, thinking about the technique instead of feeling your partner. Have you ever spoken with somebody who, while you're talking, you know that they're not listening? And then you finish what you're saying, and then they jump right in and they say something that's absolutely not relevant to what you were just saying. So you know, oh, well, they were just like waiting until it's their turn to talk. They weren't listening to what I was saying because this is not a response to what I was saying. So we have that in Aikido too. We have the physical version of that in Aikido, is that, you know, I'm going to do something to you regardless of what you're saying to me. All right. So, for example, if you're close to an uke and you're doing shomanuchi, whatever, and you're really, really close, they might come with shomanuchi that's straight towards your face and going upward, right? If they're coming at you from, 5 meters away, they're probably going to bring it up before they get there, and bam, it's going to come down towards your head. So you've got to be able to listen to that. What's the difference? That's a huge difference. You're going to react very differently if that thing is already coming down when it arrives in your sphere, your field, and as opposed to whether it's going up when it's in your field. So think about trying to feel your partner instead of simply what the technique is. Now, if you've just started Aikido a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, yeah, maybe you're still on the like, what's this technique? Which foot do I put forward and all that? I get it. But gradually, gradually try to wean yourself off of this, I'm doing this technique, right? And just try to quote unquote listen figuratively to what your partner's telling you when they come in with that attack. The takeaway, in conclusion, I want to wrap up here. So, Chikara o nuide means remove the unnecessary strength or tension, right? True looseness can be learned the hard way through repeated ukemi under great teachers. And if you're young and able to do it, yeah, go for it. Just go for it. Do it. Wait until, after class, just grab anybody who's good that you want to, you want your Aikido to be like that person's. Grab and say, onegai shimasu, and see if they'll throw you. And that experience becomes part of your body memory, your muscle memory. It tends to reveal itself later. The benefit tends to reveal itself later. I find that I notice it especially when somebody's reached Sandan, Yodan, somewhere around there. You'll notice someone who has done that a lot in their younger years, they'll be really, really grounded, effortless power, and they'll still retain, even though they've got this heaviness to them, they'll still retain their agility and their fluidity. So, have you ever trained with somebody who's, I don't know, maybe you estimate that they're 175 pounds, and yet you grab a hold of them and they're like a ton. Somebody else, 175 pounds, maybe they feel 175 pounds or 200 pounds. But then there's, again, this person who just like, whoa, they are so solid, and yet they're not that huge of a person. That's where the difference comes from. So I guarantee you that person who feels really, really heavy, I guarantee you they took a lot of ukemi in their younger years. So do it now. If you're a white belt watching this video, do it now. Don't wait. Come to my seminar. I'll throw you afterwards. Just come up to me and sit seiza and look at me and say, onegai shimasu. And I'll be like, oh wow, because a lot of times people don't do that to me when I do my seminars. Everybody does that in my dojo. Not everybody actually. Some people forego it. It's voluntary. It's after class, right? But anyway, I cannot encourage you strongly enough to do this. And this will help you loosen up. And then all your technique will become more efficient, and you'll get this sometimes effortless Aikido. I don't always have effortless throws, but every now and then everything is aligned and I'm loose enough, and boom, it feels like, oh, wow, that was one of the ones that I've been trying to get. Still now, 40 plus years, there are, I go for weeks where it's like, oh, that was fun. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, that was great, you know. But then there's one where it's like, whoa, can I do this? And I get some that, yeah, that's okay. But then every now and then. It's like, wow, that just went. How exciting. So this quality, getting back to what I was saying before, the quality of that agility and fluidity, that comes from years of absorbing the impact, learning to yield, and letting the mat teach you how to move without resistance. You can also cultivate this looseness to a certain degree, a significant degree, consciously through breathing, softening, connection, which we went into detail just earlier, right? Loosening up doesn't make you weaker. I want to wrap up this video by stressing that. Loosening up doesn't make you weaker. Just like that baseball player who, when he hits the home run, you watch those guys, they are loose. Every part of the body is loose, the good professional batters. Um, it makes your Aikido alive and ironically much more powerful. I guess it's not ironic actually if you really understand that all athletes perform better when they're loosened up. So I hope today's video gives you some insight, inspiration, and motivation to help you make the most of your training and take your Aikido to the next level. If this spoke to you in any way, if this sparked you and gave you some inspiration, check out my previous video about how to observe and absorb technique. Because looseness always begins with awareness. See you next time. Bye-bye.